Welcome back to That's What You Said with Kimberly Love. I have a great guest on today, Missy Marti. And I know Melissa because she was on my podcast, Crushing 40, a while ago, and we talked about her first book. So welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thanks, Kimberly. Glad to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Now, she is a speaker. She's author of the new book, Reset, A Fresh Start. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to this point? Because I know, obviously people on Crushing 40 have met you already, but can you give us a little bit about how you got to this point?
Sure. So my book came out in March of 2020, right as COVID was hitting its big entrance, if you will. And so
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of things I talk about in that book about loving yourself and the journey to overcoming things and not letting circumstances define you, because I was divorced, child of suicide, lots of different things had happened in my life. So I wrote that book, and it actually took off really well, better than they expected. It sold out several times on Amazon, and they were like, we didn't expect it to do this well. And so of course I started a second book, and I'm all excited about it. And in the meantime, I had to travel to Florida to handle some health stuff, and was kind of in the process of the book, and things just kind of fell apart. They just did. And I found myself in situations that seemed to be very reminiscent of what I had been in before. And I didn't like that. And I was trying to get out of it. But in order to do that, I had to look within, because I was mad at everybody else about it, and well, they did this and they did that, but at some point you have to look at yourself and take ownership in what you're doing. And so I started the book as You Are More, which is about body image and about, overcoming that. But I changed it, kind of did a whole 90-degree turn, and said, your body image actually comes from within, and it comes from the things you allow in your life. And so that's how Reset came, because I learned that I had to look inside to change the patterns that were creating the life that I said I didn't want, but I was actually making that path.
Absolutely. One thing that I loved about the book, and you touched on it briefly, is that you discussed the fact that, we all change throughout our lives. And I, like you, have gone through similar situations. And you make this fresh start, and you want things to be different. But as you say in the book, like, you can have the best intentions to change in your life and not going backwards, and then you find yourself backwards. And I think a lot of people feel like they failed, and I can't go forward, or I can't be out there talking about this because I took 3 steps back. And I think it's really important for people to realize that you're human. And
Exactly.
just because we change doesn't mean that we're never going to make a mistake again.
Exactly. There's highs and lows in everybody's life, and you get up to the mountain and you feel like you're on top of the world and nothing could ever happen. And then something happens, and you have a choice of either, approaching it the same way you did before, or looking at it with new eyes, because you actually did get to the mountaintop over it. So I'm trying to have that different perspective now, and not be so, I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah, so, I think all women are.
Yeah. So
I think we can definitely be like that. And I mean, you talked about why you wrote the book, because, you had gone those 3 steps back, and now you were pushing forward, which is amazing. So happy for you. Who is the perfect reader for this book?
The perfect reader is somebody that feels like they just they keep finding themselves either in the same relationships or the same type of job, or even if it's like an addiction of some sort, it's like you think that you've overcome it, and you have, this span of time where you're like, yep, I got it under control, I'm good. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, maybe I don't. And the thing I learned the most is that there's a lot of things internally that we have to heal before we can stop making those same decisions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just recently got some exciting news about the book. Do you want to tell us about that? Tell the audience what it is?
Yeah, so they got my script, or my manuscript, obviously, and it's almost done. It'll be out at the end of this month. And they approached me, my publishers, and wanted to present it as a screenwrite to Hollywood. So, and they work closely with Will Smith, Ron Howard, and the Kirkland brothers. And so it's a pretty big deal. It's pretty exciting. Yeah. It's a little commercial and everything for me, and that'll be out Yeah, yeah. So